Welcome to Jethro's Garage. I hope y'all are having a wonderful week, and I understand it's probably hot out there. It's a little warm here, and I've done about I've worked on a bunch of videos today, and everything was going pretty decent. It was getting warm outside, but it didn't matter because I had my big fan up in the ceiling going. It's a big 10-footer, and I had my like 2.5 foot, 3 foot big stand-up fan going. It was working wonders. Loud, but I had my microphone and it was doing good. And it just, silent quit on me over there. It's like it decided it didn't want to work no more. I went and checked breakers and all that, and yeah, I've got power going to it, so I'm gonna let it cool down and I'll check it out later and use my trusty old fluke meter on it and see what I can see. But in the meantime, I want to talk about shop equipment. There's some stuff that as you get a little further on and you get to working on stuff, maybe you've got a bunch of stuff that you're working on your own vehicles and stuff like me. I don't do a whole lot for other people. Not that I help out some people from time to time, but I'm not out there advertising that, I'm going to work on people's cars. I mainly do my kids and work on my kids' cars and help out neighbors when they need it and stuff like that. But I do have some hot rods and tractors, and we've got 10 cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 or 6 motorcycles and a travel trailer and all kind of stuff. Now, some of these cars are junk. Well, the Jeep's junk. It's yard art, and one of my son's trucks isn't doing too well. It's I think we don't need much for it. I need to get a new switch assembly because the keys got lost, and my younger son has a little Hyundai Sentra. So I don't know. It's the smallest. Something. It's the smallest of the Hyundais, but it's got a bit of a rod knock. But other than that, and then I got my hot rods that, of course, don't run. But anyway, when you get up in there, you need some stuff a little bit bigger. That's when you start getting the big air compressors, and you start getting, the bigger tools, the welders and stuff like that to do other stuff, bigger jobs. And that's why I've got this Schumacher Electric battery charger, engine starter. I've had this for a few years now. I meant to look it up, and I did. I tried looking it up in Amazon, but it's aggravating. They don't make this particular one anymore, the SC4020. I don't know how much I paid for it. I know it was somewhere around $150. But again, it was a few years back. And I've had it for a while. This thing really, really, really comes in handy. I've got my jump starters, and I've got my trickle charger, my battery tender trickle charger. Well, this right here, this really comes in handy when I'm trying to maybe save a battery or, take a battery from very, very low volts back up and a few things. So what I'll tend to do is do it a little different. I'll put it on higher amps and let it go. But I'm rambling on. Y'all hold on just a second, and I'll come back to you, and we'll talk a little more about this thing. Did you come back? Okay. I don't know if I put that in the right spot. I really don't, but it is where it is. This one. So what does it do? This is a manual, okay? It's not automatic, it's manual. So it will not adjust the volts to what your battery needs. You have to monitor that. A way to monitor it is simple. Let's say I started off on a 10 amp and it starts dropping below 10. Maybe then I want to go to 2 amp, okay? Maybe if I start out, I want to go to 40 amp. If it's a super low battery, trying to shock it back into being a decent battery, sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's really more sometimes doesn't, but you know, I might start out on 40 amps for a minute and then drop it to 10. And you can watch the gauge here as it slowly goes down as to what it's actually taking from you. Drop it to 10 amps, you know, throw it on there. Now here's the thing, because this is manual, you can kill a battery with it, even on 2 amps. So I usually set it on 30 minutes on 2 amps and leave. I'll come back and check it. If it's good, I'll take it off and maybe finish it off with a trickle charger or something like that that's automatic. But a few more things. This has a 40 amp, 100 amp engine start for 6 volt. It has a 200 amp engine start for 12 volt. It also has a hold, so you can hold a battery at a certain voltage if you want to, or amp. But really, it comes in handy. Maybe some of you would want an automatic. I would probably go with an automatic if I did it again, though, but I like having the manual. I like to be able to control it a little better myself. Y'all wait right here. So with that being said, it's nice to pair it with a decent battery analyzer. This is a load tester battery analyzer. I don't typically take the plastic off, but it's about done. I've had this for a few years as well. Pretty nice little deal. It's a Schumacher as well. Schumacher makes some decent stuff. This isn't digital, it's just straight up. So the way you read this, and I'll bring you up here so you can look at it a little closer. So the way you read this, let's say you've got a 800 amp battery. Well, when that needle right here goes up here, first of all, it's going to come up here, and you should be testing out on a full battery somewhere around 12.3. So that would be the first line after the 12, in between the first line and the second line. That'd be about 12.3, 12.3 volts. Well, if you're reading that on a battery without it running, without the vehicle running, and then you hit the load test and it drops down, you say it's an 800 amp battery, it shouldn't drop down below that line. If it does, it's weak, and it could be getting bad. Now, when you let go of it, if it goes from 12.3, let's say it's a freshly charged battery, say it goes from that 12.3 down to 12, it's chances you got a bad battery, because it shouldn't drop that bad that quick. And you know, you can go all the way down here through the different sizes. I guarantee you that same battery, if it dropped down to 12 when you hit it again, it's going to be below 11. And all of a sudden, you're going to have trouble starting your car. Now, let's say your car's running. Well, you can't do a battery test on that, but you can see what we're looking at. And if your battery is running, it should be somewhere around 13.4. So 2 lines after that middle line. See that middle line that's not numbered in between 12 and 14? Well, when you hit it, it should be that line plus 2 more smaller ones. Somewhere around 13.4, that's what you should be looking at with a battery that's charging somewhat correctly on a vehicle. That's just a quick analysis. I mean, it's a simple tester. It's a load tester. So what it does is you flip this switch, and it pulls a load, and then these wires in here heat up. It's heater coils, you know, and they pull a load on your battery so you can get a quick test on it. These come in handy. Very simple to use. if you mess around and use one of those with a charger, you've got a nice combination. And if you're wanting to get into the business, or maybe you've got race cars, and maybe you got a bunch of tractors, or whatever, okay? You're going to need something a little more robust than the trickle charger I've got, you know, or maybe a mini one. Let's see. I've got one right here. This thing's well built. Vector. I mean, this thing is heavy. I've had this for, oh Lord, since before 2004. I bought it before I went to Belgium in 2004. So it was sometime while I was at Fort Carson. And chances are it was before 2003 because I was gone most of 2003 or into, early 2004. So I couldn't have bought anything there. Maybe it was bought between, a few months there in 2004. I don't know. But this right here, it's just not enough, okay? It's okay, but, it's only a 55 amp engine start. But, when it's only like you and a couple of cars, that'll do fine, okay? But when you get up to having a lot of equipment and stuff that needs it, you probably need to get something a little more robust, especially if you're dragging an extension cord out to a tractor out in the barn or whatever. But it is what it is. So when you're looking, look for a good quality. Schumacher Electric has been doing this for a very long time. It says since 1947 right there. So they're in the game, and they've been in the game for a long time. As far as I can tell, the quality is still there. I don't know if they're still owned by the same people, but yeah, that's it. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for sticking around with me and watching. I'm fixing to go get in the air conditioner. I hope you're sitting in some air conditioning somewhere too, because it's a little warm out, and time to change his shirt. Thank y'all. Take care. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you don't mind. Share me with your friends. And y'all be good to each other. And have a blessed week.